Each Friendship Community Program has a box like this that's labeled PPE, or Personal Protective Equipment. The contents of the box are written on the lid, so these items should always be present in the kit, and that would be several pairs of gloves, a disposable mask, a full face shield, a disposable gown, and sanitary wipes for blood cleanup disinfection. We'll look at each item separately now and demonstrate how to use it. So first of all, gloves are to be put on whenever you might come in contact with blood or body fluids. Make sure you have the proper size that fits you. And you want to stretch the gloves up over your wrists. If you're wearing a large watch or bracelets or other kind of jewelry, you might want to remove that. So let's assume I've done a task that could have potentially put me in contact with blood or body fluids. As I'm going to remove my gloves, I need to assume that they're contaminated. So I want to be careful about removal. I do not want to reach for the part of the cuff that's close to the wrist, because I could accidentally touch my bare skin. So I want to grasp in the palm of the glove, and I want to carefully pull it off. Making a ball without squeezing or fluffing, and then take my clean hand and go into the inside and pull it off inside out. And then immediately dispose of it into a trash can. The next thing I'm going to do is wash or sanitize my hands. Remember, with hand sanitizer, you need to use enough hand sanitizer so all surface areas of your hands are covered, and your hands are disinfected when they are dry. So the next item we'll look at is the mask, disposable mask. Disposable mask has a wire that goes over your nose, so you want to put that firmly and make sure it fits there. Then you put the loops over your ears. And lastly, you pull the mask down over your chin. If the mask gets wet during the time you're wearing it, then it is no longer a barrier, and you need to remove it and get another one. So when you're finished with the task, then you remove the mask. Again, be careful not to touch the part that might be wet or contaminated, but take the loops off of the ears and then dispose of it into a trash can. And wash or sanitize your hands. A full face shield is also available. You may want to use this if you're working with an individual who is splattering or has a lot of secretions when you're using personal care or toothbrushing. You place this over your forehead. So the face shields are not disposable. They can be disinfected and used again, but they should not be shared between team members. If you're going to do a task where you may get your clothing wet or soiled, then please use a disposable gown. You want to have gloves on, of course, and you want to put the gown on so it covers your clothing. Be sure to stretch it up over your shoulders, and then the ties you'll want to tie to the side. The reason we encourage you to tie it on the side is so when you're removing it, you don't need to reach behind your back and potentially contaminate your clothes. So again, whatever task you did, even if the gown and gloves are not visibly soiled, you want to assume that they could have been contaminated with blood or body fluids. So in removing them, again, be really careful of the part that may have been contaminated. So you want to untie the side tie, and then using the same principle of stripping gloves inside out, reach over your shoulder, carefully pull the gown off without shaking it, and in the same movement remove your gloves. Then with your clean hand, come in under your other shoulder without a lot of fluffing or movement of the gown, and strip your gloves at the same time. So you have this package inside out, and you're going to put it into the trash can. And of course you want to wash or sanitize your hands after you do this. For the Santa wipes, please refer to the red infection control manual for the procedure to clean up blood and body fluids. So each of the programs also has a glass cleanup kit. This contains a procedure, and also the contents are listed, so you can refer to this if you need to. Oh dear, what do I do? Glass cleanup. So we want to protect our hands because glass has sharp edges. So the first thing you're going to do is put on utility gloves. The kit also contains masking tape and several layers of newspaper to wrap up the broken pieces. So I would advise that you get your tape ready even before you put the gloves on, because it's hard to do the tape with the gloves on. So have some pieces of tape ready. Then you want to spread out the newspaper, several layers thick, and take the dustpan and brush. So you want to sweep up all the large pieces and bits you can see. Put them in the middle of the several layers of newspaper. Then additionally take a damp paper towel and blot the area in a circular motion to try to get the extra splinters of glass that may have gone out from the middle. When you're done, you want to look at the surface and see if you can see any more shiny bits. Then you want to take the whole package and wrap it up. You want to make sure you contain all the sharp edges. And this is where your tape comes in. Tape it up with the masking tape. And put it into the trash can. And again, you'd want to wash or sanitize your hands after this procedure.